Welcome back, everybody. It's your host with the most, Starborn Feline here. We are picking up with the next episode of Reverse 1999. It has been a little while, but we are finally here with the next story chapter. So, for those who haven't seen, we are going to go investigate a mysterious facility with the Timekeeper. I'm really curious to see what's going on here, because the way the story's been building it, it's implied that this place was once meant to be a prison, but it has now since evolved to something completely different. So let's not meander too much into it. We're just gonna hop right in.
Hear this! For us!
For us!
For poetry!
For poetry!
For us!
For us!
For free will!
For free will!
For us!
For us!
For literature!
Literature!
Our haven!
Our haven!
The Panopticon!
The Panopticon!
Nowhere else but here!
Doris, that blind writer? 3 days ago, she asked me for directions to Comala prison. Prison?
This is an experimental facility. Soon you'll see just what that means.
Jailer, who is the ruler of this prison?
According to the agreement, the Idealist and I represent the two factions of La Sociedad. In light of his possible assassination, the Congress will now be chaired by me. What are we doing here? What even is this prison?
You are a prisoner of Comala and a guest of Manus Vindictae.
Fiction and reality are two parts of a whole. We're trapped in a story with a predetermined ending.
Okay, so just a few thoughts on just that advertisement real quick. Ooh, I love this music. But just a few thoughts real quickly. First of all, I did just want to double check, because those terms here I was curious about, Panopticon. So I double checked, it was apparently it refers to a half-sector prison, originally designed in the 18th century by a philosopher, what was his name? Jonathan Bendrick? Hold on. Let me just double check. I'm sorry, I got that completely wrong. It's Jeremy Bentham. Or, yeah, Bentham. So, the reason I mention this is because I've heard this, that word used before, but mainly around, like, Lovecraftian and stuff, so I'm just kind of curious to see what it really meant. But the other thing is, I'm not super looking forward to this chapter, not because it's I think it's gonna be a bad chapter, just because like it's the type of story that I'm not usually really interested in, like one of those like mystery drama sort of things. A real who's. Oh my gosh. Hold on, I'm gonna pause real quick. Apologies for that. So for those who don't know, my job finally got me my work phone. Unfortunately, cannot put it on silence or mute while I'm off the clock, in the event they ever need me for an emergency. Which sucks, because like we're not even really in like anything major, or like I'm not part of like any big major emergency services or anything like that. I just work at a warehouse, so it kind of sucks that they have me on call 24/7, but unfortunately that's part of the deal. So anyway, moving onwards. like this, going back to what I was saying earlier, I think this feels like a bit of a who's done it sort of story. So like those are, they're not bad, but they're also like not usually my cup of tea. But we'll just see how this goes anyway. This game has a way of making even some basic topics seem relatively interesting. Okay, let's see here. So we got, real quick, just a quick analysis of the screen. We got Timekeeper, we got Soneto, and then we got our new character. I forget her name, but we're going to learn in just a second. Let's see here. So, our story begins on the evening of March 22nd, 1991. Well, that's a few years before I was born. Ooh, I'm old. I'm old. At this point, I'm closer to 50 than I am to when I was born, unfortunately. But whatever. Oh, this is interesting. So they're actually having actual money at the currency for this chapter. So something I've always liked about this game is that they do a little. Every chapter, even both main and just side stories, get this little currency that you can use to get additional items. So this game, listen, this game is really generous. Plus the gummy bears just adds a little bit extra energy resource. Always super good. But anyway, let's hop right into it.
Hace algunos años, trabajé como guardabosques en un campamento en Cuernavaca. Allí conocí a un poeta surrealista mexicano. Estaba especialmente agradecido de que estuviera ahí. Unos animales habían entrado al campamento y les ahuyenté por él. No fue gran cosa, en realidad. Como muestra de agradecimiento, me explicó esta extraña historia. Una que ocurrió en un pueblo del desierto de Sonora, llamado Amalfitano, en 1975. La gente ahí seguía una creencia muy poco ortodoxa, que giraba en torno al dado de Babilonia. Un día, una investigadora con una maleta llegó al pueblo. Vino a estudiar sus costumbres locales, una razón nada sorprendente para que una intelectual erudita apareciera en un remoto asentamiento del desierto. But little did she know, this dusty old town and its peculiar custom would lead her down an entirely unexpected path.
Hold on. Sorry to interrupt, Recolleta. Does this researcher have a name? She could be Nora, Joanna, or Teresa. Any name, really. I feel like you want people focusing on this story, not keeping track of who's who.
Thank you for your advice. But she isn't a Nora, or a Joanna, or a Teresa. She's just herself. A paracausality researcher.
You see that look? She's halfway to eating you alive. Face it, Maria. She wouldn't be the loca we know if she listened to anyone.
Ah, alright. So you didn't like the opening. Fine. I'll come up with something new. Maybe I'll start with a bit of exposition on the Die of Babylon, beginning with its origins as a secret relic created by an Aztec priest. imprisoned by the conquistadores.
I don't know if that's going to do much, hermana. I'm beginning to think we'll never figure out what you're trying to say with this novel. And, well... and this isn't your fault.
Ay, Dios. Just tell her, Maria. We're going back to Buenos Aires.
¿De vuelta a Buenos Aires? ¿De repente? ¿Así? ¿Sin más? Pancho, Maria, what's going on? Did I do something wrong during our travels? Ah, see. I know what it is. I've bored you with my constant rambling over this novel.
No, Recolleta. It's got nothing to do with your novel.
Don't you get it? We're flat broke. Why do you think we're stuck here scrubbing tables?
Because we can't pay for all the mate we've been drinking.
That wasn't a question, Recolleta. We've crossed the continent, crashed the readings of all those prestigious poets, and leave the way a real artist should. And, I admit it, it's been just as amazing as you promised. But we can't go on living like this.
You know that we both care about you, and we believe in your novel too. I'd be lying if I said this journey meant nothing to me. Getting to ride around the continent on a motorcycle like Che Guevara himself? I never could have imagined I'd get the chance to go on an adventure like this. We got to live the dream.
A real dream. Except for those days when the motorcycle broke down. Though that was a real tribute to Che's journey too.
Don't tease, Pancho. Recolleta, since you invited us to join the Visceral Realists, we've both found amazing new ways to channel our inner poetry. Even though I still don't understand what in the world you're trying to say with your novel, or for that matter, what visceral realism actually is.
Maria, Pancho.
You told us not to worry about the definitions, to feel and to live in our words. We did just as you said, and it felt great. But... ahora el frío del invierno se instala y lo único que parece importante es ese pequeño pueblo ficticio.
I appreciate your honesty, amigos. I was worried the problem was much worse than all that. Winter here isn't as dreadful as you think, and I know just the place to keep us warm. It was 1520. Arcanist Ferdinand Magellan sailed across unfamiliar waters under orders from the Spanish crown. Over the vast gray sea, he saw spots of light in the distance. An island. He named it Tierra del Fuego. For the next 400 years, Ushuaia faithfully served its role at the end of the world. It became the continent's penal colony, and its largest building even served as a prison. Many arcanists were exiled there. By the turn of the century, the arcanist hunt had reached its peak, and the Comala Sanatorium was built. Well, as you may already know, at that time, most arcanists were believed to be victims of madness. The sanatorium was their ship of fools. However, As people began to realize that Arcanist blood wasn't a guarantee of madness, fewer and fewer were imprisoned there. By 1947, it was officially closed. Until the 1970s, when a group of people from the National Foucault Studies Association returned to the island with new ideas for the location. They spoke in abstract terms and opaque theories that no one could understand. They rebuilt this place and gave it a new name. After a long period of construction, the Comala Sanatorium became a prison once more, one designed to hold Arcanist criminals. They were taken from the streets and the psychiatric clinics, from secret societies and rebel groups. Any Arcanist deemed mentally or socially unfit would be locked away there. This association claimed the inmates would receive the best treatment, and they would fully recover before being returned to society. A prison, a medical lab, a sanatorium, call it whatever you want. That is what Comala is today. And we could spend the whole winter there. It'd probably be the easiest winter we've ever had. All that it requires is a little bit of acting. It won't be hard to pass ourselves off as a bunch of unstable crackpots. A touch of madness comes parceled with the gifts of being an Arcanist.
That's your brilliant idea? To get us locked up in an asylum? You understand we'd be prisoners there, don't you? It's not like we get to put our feet up and relax by a fire.
You want to go to jail? Well, see that man over there? Go greet him with a punch to the jaw, then you'll be set for the whole winter.
It sounds like a good idea.
Recolleta, please. We're not messing with the Gendarmeria. We're going to my Aunt Julia's. She said she could take us in at her vineyard up north near the capital. Well, it's harvest season. They could use all the help they can get. We'll return to Ushuaia next year. Or when the winter has passed. It'll still be great.
I hear you, amigos. But respectfully, I must turn down your offer. This has been more than just a road trip for me. I know sticking around here for the winter won't be easy, but this could be my last chance. What if things change again? I can't just wait for spring.
Recolleta.
What did I tell you, Maria? She never listens. Wasting your breath. Adios, Recolleta. I don't think we'll meet again. Mierda! Los gendarmes are looking straight at us!
What?
Stop right there! You three match the descriptions of some intruders at the poetry meeting in Casa Pionera.
Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse.
Okay, so Recolleta is more or less our ringleader here. But honestly, she kind of represents the concept of the starting arcs quite a bit here. She's the person who leads, who follows her dreams regardless of if there's actually anything to be gained from it. That's not necessarily a bad thing, I'm not gonna lie. But I do agree with her friends a little bit. You gotta have a plan, like don't get me wrong. Following your dreams is not a bad thing, but always have a plan where you can take care of yourself at least. If that means having to do a day job while you work on something creative, like what I do right now. I do this YouTube as a side thing on top of my day job. That's not a bad thing. it means I have ways to continue to buy equipment, continue doing what I'm doing. If this, in case, because there's no guarantee my YouTube career will ever really take off. Like, and that's not the worst.
Understood.
That's not the worst thing in the world, honestly, for me. Come on. I do want a channel, and then I'm gonna just leave off them.
It is here.
I'm gonna go from there. I do notice a little bit, and I don't know if it's intentional or not. For this chapter, some of the characters, they're not syncing up properly. I don't know if that's my computer or if that's an issue with the game.
Toes.
Let's see. For you, last
I can hear it.
that, and then
Perfectly understood.
Oh, hi.
got him. That's one down. Two down. There we go.
Keep going. For our dream, comrade.
Oh, we got a new. Sorry, I don't know what that was. But we got a new, yeah, a new cassette tape. Nice. Komala's Collars. All right, let's see what happens next, shall we?
Gracias a Dios. Creo que los perdimos. Are you all right?
Gracias. Better to kiss the ground than kiss the gendarme's boots, if one must choose. Wait a second. Doris, is that you? Funny how life moves in circles and puts an old friend in my path. How have you been? Are you paying another visit to Comala?
Doris.
Timekeeper, could she mean our Dr. Doris? Was I mistaken? How strange. I've never seen two people so alike. But please, forgive me. It's been a long day.
No need to apologize. In fact, the person you just mentioned sounds like someone we're looking for. Could you tell me where you last saw her?
Sure, Excuse me. You're not from around here, are you? Your accents and those clothes give you away. Come with me. I know a warmer place to talk.
Okay, so now enters Timekeeper Sonero, and the fact that they mentioned Doris, the doctor we were looking for a while ago, it's interesting to me. The fact that she's saying that they look similar, and like this has always been a theory in the community for a while now. There's a theory going on that Doris and Timekeeper are related. I personally would go as far as say that I think Doris.
The moment armies start to march,
oh, sorry,
the world stands still.
Sorry. I thought that was gonna be like one of those little like you read it sections, but anyway, I was gonna say, personally, I think if not her mother, I think Doris might be Verdun's aunt at the very least, just because the way they look is so similar. You can't help but draw that sort of connection. But anyway, let's see what this new voice has to say.
You fight or fall back, charge forward or run. Those are the only rules on the battlefield. I don't see a start time on this report, nor does it state the reason for or the demands of this war. Ah, a literary war. Indeed, the violence acted upon words is often just as devastating as an order on a battlefield. Words must fulfill their duties to their creators, just as soldiers must answer to their commanders. You don't? The young writers have all been exiled, sent down a path with no signs to follow and no destination. In dark days of bloody conflict, soldiers often find comfort in scriptures and verses, or in letters from their loved ones. They hold those words close, a fragile piece of home, a brief solace from the roaring of the battlefield. But as they fall one by one, they learn the bitter truth. No destiny awaits them but death. That bitter homesickness still weighing heavy in their hearts. In dreams, maybe. Walking the streets of your hometown, spending a lazy afternoon at the writing desk. Dreams can take you anywhere. But live there too long, and the lines between fiction and reality will blur. And soon, you'll never wake up again. Soldiers crawl through trenches, roll in the mud, and charge to their deaths again and again, while words are forever trapped within the confines of poetry, made to live, die, and live again under the golden prophecy. Ah, I can't stand the way poets talk.
Okay, so, just a few things to note. The way he's describing the actions of people and just life in general, because yeah, words are more powerful than people give them credit for. You can build someone up, you can tear someone down, you can just do a lot with just words alone. Heck, if you look at our current states, again, I am in the US and just the state of the world in general, words have affected people in more ways than you would realize. A post from one person condemning another, an official making a statement through an open source, even if it's not accurate or true, these things influence people and usually have a purpose to serve. Unfortunately, nowadays, a lot of people just use the words carelessly and destructively. Like, they don't care who gets hurt, they don't care who they tear down if it means getting ahead in the competition or getting noticed by more people. But yeah, that is more or less the bulk of it. Let's see. Again, pause as this goes through so you guys can just read it at your own pace. Let's see here. Okay, that should do it. But the other thing I wanted to notice about that is that the title of that little piece was called The Circling Ghost. So that makes me wonder, is this someone who we've spoken to before, or is it something else? But let's see here on more than circles. This is the more you hear circles, you can't help but think of a couple, both of like the golden circle and then of the first circle. So I'm wondering if this is what this means. Is this something more powerful than what we've seen so far, or is this just another reference that we want to look into a bit deeper? But anyway, a ring that closes on itself, that is far from enough to define the essence of fate.
According to these news reports from Ushuaia, there was an arcane attack on the pier about a week ago. All the ships in the port were destroyed. Could Manus Vindictae be responsible for this? Or perhaps the Xeno rebels?
Hard to say. But things have been suspiciously quiet these past few days. I had been hoping we'd find some clues here in Ushuaia, after we lost track of the Manus, in the Free Breeze shipwreck. They would have gone to ground somewhere remote and off the radar. Indeed, it's possible they've already left Ushuaia. For whatever reason, it seems they haven't been pushing for the storm to happen quite as eagerly as before. I have a strange feeling about it all. They're definitely up to something. For now, it seems our new friend's story lines up with the intel from Moth. It seems the Xeno rebels really did bring Dr. Dorez here. We should see if there's anything more she can tell us.
Timekeeper. The Foundation doesn't have any intelligence on Tierra del Fuego. If the Manus really are here, then we'll be on our own. The closest Foundation branch is in Buenos Aires, 3,200 kilometers away.
Careful and well considered as ever, Seneko. It's possible they've already infiltrated Ushuaia, just as they did in Chisos. But the Xeno rebels may still be holding Dorez. We can't just wait around. I'm afraid we'll have to take the risk. Ushuaia is not very big. If Manus Vindictae is here, we'll notice. Stay sharp.
Understood, Timekeeper. I'll keep an eye out for them and for Dr. Dorez.
My friends. They're really gone. Adios, Recolleta. I don't think we'll meet again. So that's all I get? We could have exchanged some farewell poems, read them out loud like we used to, and shed a few bitter tears over our heartfelt goodbyes. But you know what they say. Goodbyes are only a senseless feast of unhappiness. Pardon? Oh, it's nothing. Never mind. Please, sit down. And could we get a pot of mate with mint, please?
Thank you.
So you're looking for Doris? I can tell she's important to you from your look. Correct. Is there anything more you could tell us about the day you met her? Of course. It was one of those gray, overcast afternoons. I had just turned onto Calle Bolivar when I ran into this blind woman on my way to the post office. To be exact, I didn't run into her. She called to me. It felt like a sacred moment in time. Like something unworldly. I just stood there, frozen, as she walked up and fixed a loose thread on my sweater. I stared at her until my fingers went numb, and the letter almost slipped out of my hand.
Miss, could you tell me what's in that direction?
I followed her hand as she pointed forward. Strangely, even though I could see she was blind, I had a feeling that she knew exactly where she was pointing, and where she intended to go. That's the way to Comala prison, Señora. Is that where you're headed? I could walk you there if you'd like.
Thank you, miss. But I think I found my way.
She held a typewriter. How ironic that God would give her, at once, both books and night. I am Recolleta. What may I call you, miss? I hope you don't mind me asking, Señora. I didn't mean to pry. It's only that I have to know. You're a writer too, aren't you? I've been working on a novel and, for some reason, I have this feeling you could be a character in it. Forgive me. I'm just so excited. I really want to remember this moment. Please, may I have your name? Or whatever you'd like me to call you? I don't think I'll ever forget her smile. It was soft, kind, almost merciful. And oddly, it felt so ancient.
No offense taken, Miss Recolleta. But first, I have a question for you. What does literature mean to you?
Sorry? What a question it was. I wasn't expecting anything like it.
You're a writer, are you not? And one I sense with purpose. Tell me, where does such powerful motivation come from?
Actually, well, I'm not sure, Senora. I have my pursuits and questions, but literature is neither the goal nor the answer to them. Literature is, well, it's just literature. I suppose if I had to define it, I'd say it's a tool. A kindling for fire, or a lens to see through. A means to explore and raise questions from different angles and express our perspectives.
And what an interesting perspective you've expressed. I see. But how does literature make you feel?
As though I'm a kid looking through a kaleidoscope for the first time. Well, maybe that's not the best way to put it. Perhaps something a little more subtle. Just when I was looking for the right word, she turned away with a little wave, heading toward the prison, her feet crunching over the fine snow. So she must have gone to the prison.
When did all of this happen?
About 3 days ago. I remember the sun came out for a while that day, and the streets were glistening with melting snow. You've heard of Comala Prison, haven't you?
"3 days ago? Then we may be able to catch up with her there, Timekeeper."
You're right. We need to get there as soon as we can.
Wow, amazing. So decisive, assertive. A true show of character. You must be the very archetype of a charismatic leader. What's left to say? Whenever the protagonist has what they want fall into their laps, we're all quick to complain about lazy writers using Deus Ex Machina to keep the story together. So, let's not dwell on it. But anything can happen in a place like Ushuaia. It's a city where the day may only last 4 hours, and the streets are full of exiled arcanists.
We appreciate your help, Miss
Recolleta. Please, think nothing of it.
Miss Recolleta. I'm Vertin, and this is Sonetto. We're investigators from the St. Pavlo Foundation.
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, likewise. Glad that I could help. But listen, ladies. Everything happens for a reason, and now it's becoming clear. You're going to Comala Prison, and so am I. Maybe it's fate that brought us together.
What's your business there? If you don't mind our asking.
Oh, it's a writer's mission. But anyway, we're friends now. If you're going to Comala, you'll need someone who knows the way.
Okay. I don't know if thought that just pops into my head right now. I don't know why, but like Recolleta, she kind of reminds me a little bit of like the media analysts you'll see on YouTube sometimes. I don't know why, like that just kind of like pops into my head when I see her. She's analyzing everybody and everything around her in a real hyper-fixated way that you don't see often in like just the commercial analyzers. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just like, it just sticks out in a way, if that makes sense. But let's see here. I am curious to see like why Doris would have headed to a prison of all places and what business she had there. Because last time she appeared, supposedly she was caught by some of the Xenos rebels, and were more or less taken in by Manus Vindicte. So the fact that she's walking about without any sort of escort or any sort of urgency is pops up a few questions in my head. But I guess the biggest one is like, what is her job? What is her goal there at the prison, and will she still be there? Because I don't think we're gonna find her there. Or at least I don't think we'll find her completely. She may have left a clue of some kind, but from there we'll just have to wait and see. Let's see. Part 3, Section 3, the place that time forgot. Excellent. Everything is going according to plan. Fate will not reveal its hand, at least for now. Wait, hold on, I just realized something. There you go. We got another one of these little voice bits, so let's get that out of the way. Where is this place? The furthest edge of civilization? That's one of these, okay. Historically, the town of Ushuaia originally was home to just 400 people until 1100 convicts were exiled here. It's not hard to see why. After all, this little town has a chill to it that pierces to the bone. Even the rain feels unapologetic and bleak. Those exiles soon became essential for the town. They cut lumber, built generators, and survived the harsh winter alongside the townspeople. Some stayed after their release, while this... I'm choking here. Some stayed after their release, and with time the town prospered. A town so deeply entwined with stories of exile and imprisonment, I don't think that gives it a certain mystery, intricacy, unspoken charm. In the cold and sensitive polar night, a pair of warm hands can warm not just your body, but also your heart. You know those hands belong to a death row convict exiled here? Of course, even if they belonged to a waddling penguin, they would still be the hands of a friend. Over the years, we could even end up like family. Indeed, I think I understand how the residents and the prisoners integrated. Surviving in the harsh climate of polar regions like this isn't easy. Prisoners couldn't make it alone. The harsh nature of its surroundings taught them a simple truth. No person survives on their own. Such poetic wording, Sonetto. You ought to try your hand at poetry. It is an act of pouring one's feelings and taking a journey through one's own mind. A journey through your mind. Thank you for the suggestion. Perhaps I'll consider giving it a try in the future. Honestly, yeah. I like this. So yeah, because a couple things. Yeah, one, they are correct. You can never... No man is an island. It's one of the oldest things you'll hear out there. You can only get so far by yourself, but also always be cautious when you're accepting the help from another. Sometimes there's strings attached. Sometimes the person has ill intent. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing to want to survive with the help of others, even if they may not be the best person out there. But let's see here. Oh, so I should just point out this first episode will be a little bit longer. We'll go from there.
Behold, Komala Prison. It's the biggest building around. When the sun comes out, it looks like a rusty button stitched into the earth. Everyone tries not to pay attention to it, but it's undoubtedly one of the most important places in town. This way. Careful. We're heading uphill. Oops! Thanks. So, my new friends, you're from that St. Palominos?
St. Pavlov Foundation. And Vertin is the timekeeper there.
Ah, very impressive. Sounds all official and polished. Then I take it you've already got away into the prison?
I'll draft a letter to headquarters right away. Once they approve it, they'll notify the local branch in Buenos Aires. From there, they'll need to inform the Argentine government, who will then issue us a permit.
Excellent. Looks like our bureaucrats still have some worth. No offense intended, of course.
Since we're pressed for time, I believe we can ask that headquarters give high priority to our request. If all goes well, we should have the permit in about a month.
Ah, how expedient of them. But you know what? Maybe we shouldn't bother all those hard-working government officials with these trifling matters after all. I have a simpler solution that suits the urgency of our cause.
That sounds great. Oh, where are you going, Miss Recolleta?
To the other side of the wall, of course. From Guadalajara to Ushuaia. There has yet to be a wall that could stop me. Come on, ladies of the Foundation. Soneto, take my hand.
Miss Recolleta, please. A reckless act like that could have serious consequences. Please come back down. In fact, while the details of our mission are classified, I should warn you it may be dangerous, and we cannot guarantee your safety once we're inside. Perhaps it's in your best interest to return to town.
What? That is definitely not in my best interest. What sort of pusillanimous coward would I be if I just abandoned my fated companions here? Of course I'm going in with you. Or rather, you're coming with me.
Please get down, Miss Recolleta. Someone's coming our way.
Stop right there. What do you think you're doing?
Caramba, it's her again. The jailer of Comala.
Did she say jailer or jaguar?
That last little comment at the end actually made me laugh. I'm sorry. I muted myself so you can just hear the video playing because I don't want to interrupt with like my breathing or you guys hear the air conditioning going off in the back. But the fact that it said, did you say jailer or jaguar? I don't know why. That just makes me laugh. Okay, let's see here. Da, 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 da. Yeah, whatever. Here, we'll go this route. Yeah, this is doing fine. I cannot wait for that next character.
Let the overture begin.
Oh my gosh, I probably the name. The gentleman with the red hair to come out. Well, I call him a gentleman, but the implication behind him being a bit of a mad scientist is not lost on me. But he's gonna be once I get onto this team, we are gonna hit big numbers, baby.
Do you have any requests?
Thank you for your cooperation.
I dedicate this song to you.
There we go. Honestly, this team, for any sort of boss encounters, it really just melt through them. I've been experimenting with them for a couple different things, and yeah, even though most of the team is AOE, bosses do not like this team because we just cheat through
Recolleta,
them.
haven't I made myself clear? I don't want to see you here again.
What a delightful encounter on such a... lovely day.
Would you please just leave this place alone? I'll never understand why a promising young woman like you keeps snooping around a prison. I can't make this any clearer. Trying to break into Comala will do nothing to get you inside, but it will get you into a world of trouble with the Gendarmeria. So, will you stop these senseless breaking attempts? Comala Prison is only accessible to academic researchers and journalists, and even they must have official credentials in order to enter.
Isn't there any other way to pay a visit? I truly do need to get in there. Sorry to interrupt, but did you just say official credentials?
Yes, you heard me right. And you are?
I'm the timekeeper of the St. Pavlov Foundation. My assistant and I are here to visit Kamala Prison on official orders from the Foundation. Here, this is my ID.
This is indeed legitimate. Welcome to Kamala Prison. Apologies for my earlier behavior. It's been a while since we've had any official visitors.
Well, sometimes you gotta respect the badge. But yeah, let's see here. I'm curious to see what's going on here, because this just got way too easy. The warden may not be trying to do something, but I feel like we just got in there way too easily. Let's see what we got here. Another. Let's see. Brandish philosophy to persecute all heretics equally. Wow. The National Recolleta Studies Association was founded by scholars alongside the Junta to support the study of Foucault's theories and further to explore societal structures. Thus, a regular column was established in this publication where contributions from all perspectives are welcome and encouraged. This newspaper is about as old as I am, yet you somehow managed to find a copy. Yeah, the Panopticon of Comala was founded by the National Recolleta Studies Association as a site for experimental psychoanalysis. I read about it. A single watcher could observe all prisoners, and since the person never knew that they were being watched or not, the field system infiltrated every detail of their lives. It's smart, isn't it? The actual surveillance remains unseen, yet the prisoner nonetheless end up trapped in a closed, fragmented structure. Oh, those were my pen pal's words. He also said it was a significant experiment for the government at the time. But in that era, Vornic's psychoanalysis seemed more like a means to an end. Huh? Wait, so if I'd been born a few decades earlier, would I have needed to try so hard to get into this prison? Would the Genderas have locked me up just for writing or speaking out? I may not always understand you, but I sincerely hope you were joking now. Back then, people faced more than just imprisonment. They were disappearances, tortures, and many deaths. Alright, apologize. It's probably a bit of an improv joke, I admit. Please relax, Neto. But unfortunately, yeah, that is something that, to a degree, we still see in this day and age, where in certain countries, if you anger the wrong people, you are going to disappear, or if you're lucky, they may find you in a river somewhere. But yeah, like, honestly, back even just a few decades ago, heck, in somewhat to somewhat in today's modern world. Even in first world countries like the U.S. or Europe, there are certain places you cannot speak or say certain things without instantly being seen as potentially dangerous or imprisoned, even when in reality you are only speaking the truth. If you criticize the wrong person, if you write the wrong article, they will try to silence you, if not through legal means, then through intimidation or other things. But let's not dwell too much on that. I'm getting too political here. Kumala's collars. For a drifter, a stay behind an iron-barred window can feel like just another stretch of desert.
Día tras día, la investigadora de paracausalidad se escondía en la naturaleza fuera del pueblo de Amalfitano, estudiando los datos que había recolectado. Una tarde, al anochecer, una voz llamó desde fuera de su cueva. Ella dejó el equipo y las cintas y salió afuera. Un hombre estaba de pie, curioso, frente a su puerta. ¿Qué haces aquí?, preguntó, levantando ambas cejas. Nada sucede en Amalfitano en estos días. El local se presentó como el empleado del banco. Probablemente tenía la cara más amable del lugar. Ojos brillantes, mejillas levantadas, una mandíbula suave. Era una cara llena de esperanza. La investigadora le mostró los espectros que había estado recopilando. He estado recolectando historias sobre el dado, explicó. Quizás ellos contienen la clave para explicar la aleatoriedad que muestra el destino. Ah, eso realmente me intriga, respondió rápidamente el empleado del banco. Me encantaría escuchar todo sobre eso, pero debo irme. No debo llegar tarde al funeral del pescador de dunas. Y con eso se fue. 3 días después, los mismos pasos regresaron a su cueva. ¿Volviste? ¿Cómo has estado? ¿Lograste llegar al funeral?, preguntó. No tengo idea de lo que estás hablando, respondió de manera cortante. No soy el hombre que crees que soy. Su rostro estaba agotado y demacrado, sus ojos hundidos profundamente en huecos vacíos. Era como si toda chispa de vida le hubiera sido arrancada, dejándolo solo con una cáscara vacía. La investigadora insistió que no se había equivocado. Conozco a las personas por su naturaleza más profunda, hasta la sincronización de sus espectros. Nunca me he equivocado antes. Lo que tú digas, el hombre murmuró de manera áspera. No entiendo nada de tus ideas tan elevadas. Solo déjame ir. Ha sido un largo día de pesca y lo único que quiero ahora es desplomarme en mi cama tambaleante. Se alejó con pasos que sonaban exactamente como los del empleado del banco.
As you might have noticed, Miss Burton, this facility isn't just a prison. It's also a research center. Its full name is the Panopticon of Comala. It was established by the Foucault Association in 1975. We've hosted workshops, academic sessions, and even lectures about the Panopticon. You may even have seen some reports about it. Experts of psychoanalysis and scholars from various fields have come here to exchange ideas and seek collaboration in their studies. In many ways, the Panopticon is unlike any other prison you've seen before.
I see. No wonder Miss Recolleta has gone to such lengths to become a part of it. Actually, my assistant and I are here to inquire about a prisoner named Doris. Does that name sound familiar?
Not that I recall. Could she have used a different name? What does she look like?
She'd have arrived here about 3 days ago. It's also possible that she came as a visitor, not a prisoner. She's a blind woman who always carries an old typewriter. She used to be a doctor at the Sao Paulo Veterans Residence in Brazil. And on the subject of different names, she once wrote for Atu, under the name Erd.
I don't think I've seen anyone fit in that description. And as I said, we haven't had any visitors in some time. Certainly not in the last 3 days.
But I did see her. I saw her walking towards Comala prison.
Someone must have mixed up their memories. Simply put, I don't recall seeing anyone by that name or with that description here.
I see. Thank you, miss. Perhaps we made a mistake. Miss Recolleta, you've gone to great lengths to get into the Panopticon. Would you mind telling us why? Finally! I've been waiting for you to ask. I'm here to find my pen pal in Comala. You have a pen pal? In here? Yes. 6 months ago, I went to a book exhibition in Guadalajara and came across the contact details of a few writers. I sent them my novel and asked for feedback. Looking back, it was a bit forward, but nothing unheard of between writers. A lot of friendships start through letters, you see. And Aleph wrote back. And how much do you know about this pen pal of yours? Oh, well, he calls himself Aleph, which is a grammatically masculine word, so... So you assume Aleph is a man? Yes, he's probably a poet, a writer, perhaps even an alchemist. He's one of the brightest people I know. There's never been a question that he couldn't answer. I've asked him about religion, politics, history, potions, even critters in length and breadth. Can you imagine someone who knows all those things and so extensively too? And he helped me with my novel. He always seems to know the best ways to bring my characters to life. Honestly, he's so insightful. I've begun wondering if he's omniscient. With his help, my story grew richer and fuller, like a well-tended plant. Strangely, can't seem to take it any further now. It's as if the roots have been sapped of their strength. I couldn't understand why, so I resolved that I would see him in person to find out.
Again with this story about your uncanny pen pal, I've already told you 12 times. It's all very moving, but it still doesn't justify your actions. Writers experience mental blocks all the time, yet you don't see them trying to break into a prison over it.
She does have a point. Please, Burden, jailer, have a little mercy, will you? Hold on. I've been meaning to ask. Why are you only calling her jailer? Don't you know her name? Or do you just prefer addressing people by their occupation? Oh, about that.
It's okay, Miss Verton. I don't mind being called by my job title. I take pride in what I do. I'm perfectly fine with just being the jailer.
Exactly. A researcher is a researcher, and a jailer is a jailer. Titles and code names often tell us more about people than their ordinary given names, don't you think? Take Sonetto, for example. Your name comes from sonnets, doesn't it? That great poetic form from Italy. Some people mistakenly think Shakespeare invented it. Some say it was Petrarca, though no one really knows when the first sonnet was written. Sorry, I'm straying from my point. You're Italian, aren't you, Sonetto? Is that your real name, or just a code name? Were your parents poets?
As much as I'd like to be able to answer your question, I never knew my parents. My earliest memories were of the School of Primary Defense of Mankind. I've lived there since I was a small child.
My apologies. That was thoughtless of me.
It's fine. You meant no ill intent, I'm sure. Timekeeper, if Miss Recolleta was right about Dr. Doris's whereabouts, perhaps the jailer is keeping things from us. Or perhaps Dr. Doris visited the Panopticon without her knowledge. Either way, we need to do some digging here.
I agree. Let's see if we can talk to some of the inmates and find out what they know.
Ladies, we're about to enter the main hall of the Panopticon. This is one of the places where the inmates spend their recreation time. At this hour, they are supposed to be in their cells. But what's all that noise? Miss Burton, could you keep an eye on Recolleta if anything happens?
Certainly. What do you take me for? I'm not going to run away. That'd be a pretty cheesy way to start a story.
Please, just stay close to me.
Okay, so let's see. So it doesn't seem like Doris has been here. However, they do bring up a good point here. Either Doris did so without the warden noting, which implies a bunch of things, or the warden is hiding information from the timekeeper and Sonetto, which implies other things. So I'm curious to see which it is, or if maybe there was something else. And maybe Doris narrating so much as made it here to the prison. That is another possibility as well. But we'll just have to wait and see where this goes. Let's see. Okay, that is the end of this. So 3, 2, 1. More going on. What I'm curious about this new icon. This looks... I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. It looks like almost like a violin or some kind of instrument. Darkness has no form. The ever-shifting gaze seeps into everything... into every crevice. Oh, hold on. This one isn't voice acted. Looks like we have a new arrival. The pitch black in here. Can't be sure she's new just yet. Hey there, welcome to la Sociedad de Poetas de las Americanas. Or maybe she's one of those who broke out and came back of her own accord. Keep quiet, huh? I get it. This must be a sacred moment for you, a return to the darkness.
La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas?
Oh my gosh. It's one of these sections, so only some parts are going to be voiced. Okay. Are you still there? A faint cough, a heave of sighs in the darkness. Pardon me, but have we met before? This is my first time in a prison, as far as I can recall. What a strange thing to say, prison. When was the last time we heard someone say that? Back when the narrator was published? Wait, you aren't some ancient ghost here in pursuit of realism, are you? There's the theatrical flair in the voice. Rusty gates, pitch black cells, prison. Bars for exchanging letters, a peaceful and secluded place. Sociedad de Poetas. And no, we don't know you. The three of them are spaced just far enough apart to barely make out each other's faces in the dark. What a wonderful example, gracias. Exactly, it all depends on how you choose to see the world, my new friend. They're all wearing straitjackets. I'm kind of worried about this. Roberta, we don't have much time. This might be the most important gathering of the month. No, maybe in the year. You're right, gracias. At this moment, nothing's more important than the Salon of Idealists has so carefully prepared. You should focus on sorting out those manuscripts first.
Pardon the interruption, but might I ask?
Why is your organization called La Ciudad de Poetas de las Americas? I assume it's simple due to geography? Don't worry, senora. We make a point of introducing our ciudad to every new friend, but now isn't quite the time. After the salon ends, we must ask the dealer about your accommodations. Wait a minute. Roberta, your eyes are well adjusted to the dark. Use them. She is neither newcomer nor returnee. She is a blind woman. Please forgive me, Please forgive Garcia's rudeness, senora. A sensory limitation can sometimes bring sharper intuition. In that colorful world of the mind, I'm sure you can see it even more beautiful than reality. But if you were brought in by a physician, then why are you here? She tries to construct a fiction in her mind, something that could justify the surreal nature. Wow. For the humid trade through the wind of San Pablo to the crashing surf of the cliffs. Now, this strange land greets me for the first time with nothing but cold silence. Miss Erd is to be placed in Oceana's Mola prison. She is not to be treated as an ordinary inmate. In other words, the preacher, you are our honored guest. Sorry, in the words of our preacher, you are our honored guest, Miss Erd.
I've come to learn the name of this land. Ushuaia.
From the young lady's retelling, it lies at the southernmost tip of the vast continent of South America.
As we walked, I could feel her gaze upon me. Steady, yet never intrusive.
I could tell she means me no harm. Again, I find this kind of annoying that they're just doing like some lines when there's a bunch more. I've informed the administration of Comala Prison of your identity in special circumstances. He will ensure your safety. Good luck, and farewell.
I sensed I had been brought to a place most unusual. A building with a quiet peculiarity in the air.
Two attendees follow close behind me, some form of liquid dripping from their faces.
I suppose I must claim a little freedom for myself in this place.
I thought the darkness was a blessing. It wasn't too difficult to shake them off.
I'm sorry for your undue trouble, my diligent friends.
I'm a writer, and I mostly understand write under the name Erd.
I'm here for a short visit, hoping to find some inspiration for my next story.
See, Garcia, the lady's a writer. Good soul. You almost made us miss out on meeting a kindred spirit. Come, come. I'm sure you'll fall in love with our salon. This has nothing to do with me. It's dark in here, but I suppose you're already grown used to walking in the dark. Sorry, I mean no offense. I'm kind of curious. I'm a little bit lost here. What's going on? We're seeing a flashback about Erd, but I feel there's more going on here that we're not quite getting yet. So the Manus did bring her here to the prison as a special guest. I don't know what it implies, but I guess we'll just wait and see. Let's see. Okay, so I did just double check. So I've seen how many parts there are to the chapter. So I do want to spread these out a little bit. So we are gonna have to call it here, unfortunately. We'll see what happens in the next episode and where we go from there. I'm just curious, like I said, I normally don't care for who's done it or like these sorts of mystery style episodes, just because I don't really have the patience for them. But this has actually got me hooked a little bit, so I'm curious to see what's going on. So we have a lot of questions and not a lot of answers right now. We know Dolores came to this prison, escorted by Manus Vindicti. Recolleta's here asking about her friend Aurelius. I'm not pronouncing that right at all. I'm pretty sure. And the jail doesn't seem to know who Dolores is, so I'm assuming either she wasn't told by the director, who's more than likely in Manus Vindicti's pocket, or she is being forced to lie right now. But until then, we'll have to wait and see what comes up in the next few episodes. Until then, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified new videos when they come out, share the content, people might like it, or just need a bit of background noise in their life. Until then, this has been Starborn Feline, signing off for now, saying, be kind, try to create something new tomorrow, and I'll see y'all next video. Until then, hope you have a wonderful day, evening, whatever time for y'all when you're watching this. And for this episode, comment down below, what is your favorite Who's Done It sort of story? I'm really curious to hear what some of you might say. Maybe if I find some I find interesting, I might try reading them myself. But until then, everybody, remember to, this has been Starborn Feline, signing off for now, saying goodbye.